Hello, fifth grade. Today's math lesson is lesson 5.6, and we are dividing decimals by whole numbers. So we are still doing division. We are still going to be using dangerous monkeys swipe bananas just like we always have been. The only difference is that you're going to see a decimal. So inside the house, there are decimal numbers, and then outside the house is just a regular number still. So it's not a big change, but it's just a tiny bit of something else that we have to do whenever we see a decimal in there. So let's just go ahead and start here with number 1. We are just dividing by 8, which is a one-digit number, so that will be pretty nice. 8 will not fit into 4, so I'm going to look at 47. How many 8s will fit in 47? Well, that would be a 5. Put my 5. Now notice I'm lining this up nicely. The 5 needs to go right above the 7 because that's where we're at in our division. You just put it right above the number that you're using to divide. That's going to be super important as we are working with decimals here. Now I multiply. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract, that would be a 7. And I bring down the next number. Now, as I brought that down, you'll notice I passed the decimal. I'm on the other side now. When I pass it, I put my decimal point up there. Then I just keep right on going like normal. So 8 into 76 would be a 9. 8 times 9 is 72. When I swipe, that would be a 4. And then I bring down my 8. And I need to go again. How many 8s will fit in 48? That would be a 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Subtract, and that would be a 0. So my answer would be 5.96. The only difference is making sure that I get my decimal up there in my answer where it is supposed to be at. Okay, let's try number 2. I'm dividing by 9, so will 9 fit into 5? No, so I'm going to look at 58. How many 9s will fit into 58? That would be 5. Notice I wrote it right above where I'm working. 9 times 5 is 45. Oh, nope. It will go in there more than 5 times. 9 times 6 is what I need to be doing. Sorry about that, guys. 9 times 6. So 9 times 6 is 54. That looks better. 58 minus 54 is 4. Bring down my 6. Have I passed my decimal? Yes, I'm on the other side of it now, so put my decimal up here, and then I just keep right on going. How many 9s will fit into 46? That should be a 5. That must have been what I was thinking about. 9 times 5 is 45. Subtract, that's a 1. Bring down the 8, and I have to go again. How many 9s will go into 18? That would be a 2. 9 times 2 is 18, so when I subtract, that's a 0. So 6.52. When we are subtracting with decimals, we should never get a remainder, ever, ever, ever. So it should always end in 0. If it doesn't end in 0, we have done something wrong. So that's a good way to check yourself as you're going through doing our division with the decimal numbers in there. All right, let's scooch on down. Let's do some with 2 digits outside the house because we know how to do both of these ways already. First, I want to round 51, which is closest to 50. And I'm going to start with 374. So remember, cover up your back numbers. About how many 5s will fit in 37? That would be a 7. Remember, write it above right where you're working at. Then I need to multiply 51 times 7. Do it over here. I'm going to do my multiplication fast because you should be able to do that. All right, 357. I'm going to subtract. Being careful, I need to do a little take one, give one here. 17 is what I get. Then I'm going to bring down. And have I passed my decimal? Yes, I'm on the other side of it now, so I need to put my decimal up here before I keep going. Now I just keep right on going like normal, so cover up my back numbers. About how many 5s would fit into 17? That would be a 3. Then I need to multiply 51 times 3. That would be a 3. This would be a 15. So 153 is what I'm subtracting. That would be a 25. Then I'm going to bring down again. Cover up those back numbers. How many 5s will fit into 25? That would be a 5. So I need to do 51 times 5. And that is 255, which is exactly what I wanted because I know I can't get a remainder. This has to end in a 0. So my answer is 7.35. I'm going pretty quickly through these because we already know how to do the division. We've been doing this for several lessons now. The only thing that's new is I have to get my decimal point up there. So you just have to watch out for that decimal so you know when to copy it at the top. Otherwise, everything is exactly the same as what we've been doing. Number 4, 22 is going to round to 20. This time I only need to start with the first 2 because that will fit into 58. So we're going to start there and we're ready to go. Cover up your back numbers. How many 2's will fit into 5? Well, that's going to be a 2. Remember, write it right above where you're at. Multiply 22 times 2. That would be 44. So subtract 44, and that would be 14. Bring down. Have I passed my decimal yet? No, I'm still on the front side, so I don't put my decimal. I just keep on going. Cover up the back. How many 2's will fit into 14? 7. Then I need to multiply 22 times 7. 14. Uh-oh, that is too big. Bigger than what I needed. So 7 is too big. I need to try 6 instead. So 22 times 6 is what I need to work out. 6 times 2 is 12. That would be 13. So 132, that worked out a lot better. And that would be an 8. Then I'm going to bring down. I passed my decimal as I brought down there, so my decimal point needs to go up here. And we're ready to go again. Cover up my back numbers. How many 2's would fit into 8? That should be a 4. And then we need to multiply 22 times 4, which is 88. And that's exactly what I needed because we can't have a remainder. 26.4 is my answer. Now, we're going to look at one more special thing that might happen here. So 5 and 6 are our last examples, and you'll kind of see how these are special as we get going here. We are dividing by 6. 6 will not fit into 5, so I need to look at 54. And then I'm ready to go. How many 6's will fit into 54? That would be a 9. Remember, I write it right above. Multiply. 6 times 9 is 54. Subtract, that's a 0. Bring down. I passed my decimal as I brought down, so put my decimal up here. Then go again. How many 6's will go into 7? That would be a 1. Minus 6, 1. Bring down my 5. Go again. How many 6's would go into 15? That would be a 2. 6 times 2 is 12. When I subtract, I get a 3. Now, do I have anything to bring down? No, but I can't have a remainder. There's no remainders in decimals, so that's not going to work. Here is what we do. If there's nothing to bring down and it seems like we have a remainder, we have to add a 0 behind it, and we just keep going. Our decimal number just gets bigger until it eventually works out. Eventually, it will work out where there is nothing left and we get that 0. So I didn't have anything to bring down, but I can't have a remainder of 3. So I just added a 0 behind it. And now I'm going to go again. How many 6's will fit into 30? Well, that would be a 5. 6 times 5 is 30. There we go. Now we have nothing left. So 9.125. So if it looks like you're going to have a remainder, we don't have remainders in decimals, we add a 0 and we just keep going until eventually it works out so that we don't have anything left. Let's try again on number 6 there. Now this number inside the house does not have a decimal, but we know we're working with decimals. Where would the decimal be in this number? If a number does not have a decimal, remember that decimal is always at the back. So it would be right here. I'm going to go ahead and add it and add a 0 behind it. So if it's not there, it's at the back. We know it's there. They just didn't put it. So we would add it there. And then we're ready to go. Now it looks just like the rest. So 8 will not fit into 3, but it will fit into 31. So start there. How many 8's will fit in 31? That would be a 3. Multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. Minus, that would be a 7. Bring down my 0. Did I pass my decimal? Nope, not yet. I'm still on the front side, so we're good. We just need to keep going. How many 8s will fit into 70? That would be an 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Subtract. That would be a 6. Bring down. Did I pass my decimal? Yes, I'm on the back side now, so copy your decimal up there. Then we keep going. How many 8s will fit into 60? That would be 7. 8 times 7 is 56. That would be a 4. I don't have anything to bring down, but can I have a remainder in decimals? No. So what do I need to do so that I can keep going? Just add a 0 and go again. So 40. How many 8s will go into 40? That would be a 5. 8 times 5 is 40. There we go. Now I have a 0, which is what I need. So 38.75. So if it looks like you're going to have a remainder, add a 0 and keep going. It should work itself out. Now, in 5th grade, you should never have an answer that has more than 3 numbers behind the decimal. They're not going to do that because we only learned 3 numbers behind the decimal. So if you're going and you have more than 3 numbers back here, you have made a mistake. You need to erase and start again because you've messed up somewhere and it's going to get way too long. Okay, so the most numbers you should have is 3 back here. Sometimes it'll work out perfectly where you don't have to add those zeros, but sometimes if it looks like you have a remainder, you've got to add that 0 and keep going, and your decimal will just get longer until it works itself out to have a nothing as the remainder. All right, make sure you follow Dangerous Monkeys Swipe Bananas on your assignment. You've got it. Don't forget those decimals. Bye.